Have you ever heard someone say, just exercise more, you'll get stronger? I've heard that line hundreds of times, from patients, friends, even some of the most determined people I know. But after more than 20 years of working with adults over 50, I've learned one very important truth. Not every exercise makes you stronger. Some can actually make you weaker, faster. Let me tell you a small story. One morning a few years ago, a woman named Michaela, age 73, walked into my clinic. She moved slowly, her face tense with pain. I asked, "Did you fall?" She shook her head. "No, doctor, I've just been doing sit-ups every morning. I saw online that they help burn fat and strengthen the back." She explained that every morning she would lie flat on the floor, hands behind her head, and do about 40 sit-ups. But after a few months, instead of feeling stronger, she started to feel worse. Back pain, leg numbness, and a stiff neck. When I examined her, her lower back muscles were inflamed and her spinal discs were compressed, the result of too many forward bends, a motion the aging spine simply can't handle anymore. It took nearly 3 months of physical therapy before Michaela could bend forward again without wincing in pain. I know many people still believe that sit-ups or crunches are the classic ab workout, the secret to a firm belly and less fat. But the truth is, at 60 or 70 years old, your body doesn't respond the same way it used to. Every time you curl up, your spine compresses, like squeezing a dry sponge. When you're young, that sponge bounces back. But as you age, it becomes thinner, more brittle, and easier to tear. So instead of building your abs, you're putting dangerous pressure on your spine, often leading to back pain, herniated discs, or sciatica. I always tell my patients, if you can't smile comfortably while doing an ab exercise, it's not the right one for you. Because even laughing is a gentle, natural way to activate your core, safer than any sit-up. Instead of lying down and crunching up, try a seated knee lift. Sit on a chair, gently lift your knees, or do light core breathing exercises. These slow, controlled movements engage your abdominal muscles without straining your back. Now, the second exercise I want you to avoid completely is the behind-the-neck shoulder press, the one where you lift weights behind your head. Sounds powerful, right? But it's actually a nightmare for older shoulders. I've seen this countless times, especially among men, who try it because they've seen bodybuilders do it. One of my patients, Robert, age 68, used to be a regular at the gym. His young trainer told him, "This move is great, sir. It'll build big, strong shoulders." So, 3 times a week, Robert grabbed his 15-pound dumbbells and pressed them from behind his head upward. After the first month, his shoulders just felt a bit sore. By month 3, the pain kept him awake at night. By month 6, he couldn't even lift his arm to comb his hair. When he came to see me, the diagnosis was clear: a rotator cuff tear, one of the most common shoulder injuries in older adults. I want you to picture your shoulder as a finely tuned machine, where tendons, muscles, and bones glide together with perfect precision. When you press a weight from behind your head, you're forcing that machine out of its natural path of movement. It's like trying to open a door the wrong way. The first time, it just squeaks. Keep forcing it, and eventually, the hinge breaks. For older adults, a shoulder injury can take a full year to heal. And during that time, you can't exercise, can't lift your arm, sometimes can't even dress yourself. There's a saying I often share in my rehab classes: your shoulders are the wings of your body. Keep them light, don't break them. If you want to strengthen your shoulders, choose light front presses or lateral raises with resistance bands. These movements are gentle, biomechanically correct, and help your shoulders stay strong and flexible, without damaging the joints. Now, the third dangerous exercise might surprise you: the deep knee extension, also known as the leg extension machine at the gym. It looks harmless, doesn't it? You're just sitting and kicking your legs out. But hidden beneath that motion is a trap for anyone with weak knees. When you extend your legs in a seated position, All the pressure goes straight to the knee joint, creating what's called a shear force, a sliding stress across the joint surface. For someone with arthritis or osteoporosis, that's like slowly sanding down the cartilage little by little. I remember Evelyn, age Yit. She loved going to her local fitness center every morning. She told me, "I like the leg extension machine. It feels easy and doesn't hurt." But after a few months, she began hearing a cracking sound whenever she stood up, and her knees started to swell. An MRI showed her cartilage had worn down significantly. We had to stop her gym workouts for 6 weeks and switch her to glute bridges, a gentler exercise that helps stabilize the knees. You see, doing the wrong exercise can be more dangerous than not exercising at all. Something that seems harmless, if done incorrectly, too forcefully, or at the wrong age, can set you back for months and erase all your progress. At 60 or 70, your body doesn't need harder workouts. It needs smarter ones. Gentle, bodyweight-based, natural movements that don't twist joints or compress the spine are the safest, most effective path forward. And I want you to remember this. You don't need dumbbells. You don't need machines. You don't need to compete with anyone. Your body simply needs to move the right way, slowly, mindfully, and with awareness. If an exercise makes you feel pain, dizziness, or unusual tightness, that's not a sign to push through. That's your body whispering, "Please listen." I once told a class of older students, exercise as if you're having a conversation with your body. Be gentle, respectful, and patient. And something amazing happened. Those who followed that advice recovered faster, walked steadier, and even slept better. Aging may slow us down, but it also gives us a gift: wisdom. When you truly understand your body, you don't need to chase the newest workout trend. You just need simple, correct, and consistent movements. Because in the end, the goal of exercise isn't bigger muscles. It's a lighter life. It's being able to stand without pain, to open a door, to hug someone you love, and to step into the morning sun without fear of falling. So, the next time someone tells you, "The more you train, the better," just smile and remember my words. Smart training keeps you young. Reckless training only makes you weaker, faster. Choose movements that follow your body's natural rhythm. Let every motion be an act of kindness toward yourself. Because sometimes, the best way to get stronger is to learn how to be gentle with your own body. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror, looked at your hands, and wondered, why have they gotten so weak so quickly? Maybe you once carried heavy grocery bags with ease, twisted open jars without effort, or pushed open doors with strength and confidence. But one day you notice, those little things don't feel so easy anymore. I've heard this from hundreds of my patients. And every time I tell them, it's okay, that strength isn't gone, it's just waiting to be awakened. And sometimes, all it takes is one wall to bring it back. We call this exercise the wall push-up, or the standing push-up. It sounds so simple that many people laugh when they hear it. Just pushing against a wall? That's it, doctor? But the truth is, the wall can be one of your best trainers. It never yells. It never judges. It just stands there, steady, quiet, and ready to help you rediscover your hidden strength. I remember a patient named Helen, age 75. She came to see me after a small fall while trying to push open her garage door. Her arms trembled, her shoulders ached, and she said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm getting weaker. I walk every morning, but my arms are still shrinking." I asked, "Do you ever push or lift anything besides that door?" She laughed and said, "No, I only walk. I'm afraid of weights." So I showed her how to start with wall push-ups, a simple, gentle exercise that doesn't need weights, floors, or equipment, just a wall in her home. 3 weeks later, she came back smiling. "I can't believe it," she said. Just pushing the wall every day. My shoulders don't ache anymore and my back feels straighter. That's the magic of moving the right way. When you push against the wall, you're doing more than working your arms. You're sending a powerful signal to every muscle fiber. Wake up. Rebuild. Science calls this process mechanotransduction. When your muscles sense gentle pressure and send messages to your DNA, telling it to turn on the genes that build new protein. Put simply, every time you push that wall, your body is commanding itself. Make more muscle. And here's the amazing part. This process stays active even at age 90. Age doesn't stop your body's ability to respond. It just needs a reason to begin. A study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity followed 150 adults aged 65 to 85. They performed wall push-ups 3 times a week for 12 weeks. The results were remarkable. 30% increase in upper body strength, 2.3 pounds of new lean muscle gained. Noticeable improvement in posture and less neck-shoulder pain. Dr. Patricia Hammond, who led the study, said something I'll never forget. We expected small improvements, but what we saw was not just slowing down aging, it was reversing the weakness that comes with age. I know many older adults hesitate to try push-ups because they imagine lying on the floor or straining like young athletes. But wall push-ups are different. You simply stand, lean in gently, and push back. No knee pressure, no fear of falling, no equipment needed. That's why I love this exercise so much. It respects your body. It doesn't force or fight. It's a quiet conversation between you and your arms. I once told a student, when you push the wall, don't think of it as exercise. Think of it as pushing back against time. Every gentle push is a moment of resistance against weakness, stiffness, and fatigue. And the reward? After just a few weeks, you'll feel it. Steadier arms, stronger shoulders, deeper breaths. One of my students, Jonathan, age 80, said something that made us all smile. I'm not afraid to take off my jacket anymore. I used to feel a sharp pain every time I lifted my arm. Now it feels light as air. We laughed, not because the exercise was miraculous, but because he had found something far more powerful, trust in his own body again. If you'd like to try it, here's how. Stand facing a wall, about 1 arm's length away. Place your palms at shoulder height, fingers pointing upward. Keep your body straight, from head to heels, like a soft plank. Inhale as you lean toward the wall. Exhale as you gently push back. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't force. Let your body find its own rhythm. Do 8 to 10 repetitions per session, 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That gives your muscles time to rest, recover, and grow stronger. If it feels too easy, take a small step backward. If it feels tiring, step a bit closer. You are in control, not the exercise. I often share an old story with my rehab classes, a legend from the Hunza people, a community in northern China known for their extraordinary health and longevity. According to the tale, their ancestors discovered the wall push movement while building stone terraces in the mountains. Whenever they grew tired, they would lean against the wall to rest, then almost playfully push off the wall several times to stretch. To their surprise, after a while, their arms grew stronger and their backs felt sturdier. From that day on, pushing the wall became a morning ritual. Even today, 90-year-old Hunza elders begin each day with a few slow, gentle wall pushes. No equipment, no noise, no pressure, just movement. Simple, natural, and more powerful than any supplement. You see, strength doesn't come from how many times you push. It comes from your decision not to stop. You can start with 5 repetitions, then 10, then 15, no rush. What matters isn't the number, it's the habit you're building. Muscles don't fade because of age, they fade because we stop using them. And this small daily practice is your body's gentle wake-up call. I'm still here, let's move again. Now, imagine this with me. It's morning. Sunlight warms the wall in front of you. You stand up, place your hands on the cool surface, take a deep breath in, and gently push away. Each breath is a quiet rhythm, a connection between you and the youth still alive inside you. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to believe that somewhere within your body, there's still untapped strength waiting to rise. And if someone asks me, "Doctor, is there really one small exercise that can make a big difference?" I always smile and say, yes, it only takes a wall, and the belief that you can still be stronger than yesterday. So if you're watching this video, I want you to try it right after it ends. Find a wall in your home. Place your hands on it. Push gently, just a few times. Feel your breath. Feel your shoulders. And remember, your strength is still there. If this video gave you even a little spark of motivation, please like, share, and subscribe to Over 60 Health Tips. Because I believe every one of us, whether 60, 70, or 90 years old, deserves to feel strong, free, and fully alive in the body we call our own. Have you ever wondered why, after exercising, your body feels lighter, your mind feels clearer, and that night you sleep more deeply? It's not because you're simply tired. It's because your body has just released its own natural rejuvenation medicine, a group of powerful chemicals scientists call regenerative hormones. I often tell my patients, there isn't a pill in the world that can make you feel younger faster than the hormones your own body creates. And the beautiful truth is, your body has never forgotten how to produce them. It just needs you to send a signal to wake that system back up. When you do chair squats, or even just stand up and sit down gently each day, you're activating your natural endocrine system. Those tiny glands in your body begin to wake up after years of slowing down. The two most important hormones for adults over 60 are testosterone and growth hormone, GH, often called the youth hormones. We usually think of testosterone as a male hormone, but women need it too. And by age 60, both men and women can lose 50 to 70% of it. When testosterone drops, you may feel tired, lose muscle, experience poor sleep, low motivation, and even feel like you're not yourself anymore. Growth hormone works much the same way. When you're young, it helps you recover quickly, sleep deeply, heal wounds, and wake up full of energy. But after age 40, your natural GH levels drop by about 15% every decade, and by age 70, only a small fraction remains compared to your youth. Here's the good news. Scientific studies have shown that gentle bodyweight exercises like chair squats, wall push-ups, brisk walking, or climbing stairs can reactivate your body's natural hormone production. No injections, no pills, just your own body rebuilding itself, naturally, safely, and sustainably. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology revealed something remarkable. After just 10 weeks of light squats, done 3 to 4 times per week, adults over 65 showed an average 20 to 25-fold increase in testosterone and nearly doubled their growth hormone levels compared to those who didn't exercise. Participants didn't just get stronger, they also slept better, digested food more easily, and felt happier and more alert. One 70-year-old woman said, "I never imagined that simply sitting and standing could make me feel alive again." I had another patient named George, age 74. He came to me exhausted, often waking up at 3 a.m. and unable to fall back asleep. We started simple, chair squats and wall push-ups, just 15 minutes a day. After 6 weeks, he called me and said, "Doctor, I'm finally sleeping 7 straight hours every night. I wake up feeling light, clear-headed, and, strangely enough, happier." I told him, "That's your body's hormones coming back to life. These hormones don't just affect muscles or sleep. They influence your mood, memory, and focus. When their levels improve, life feels easier. You get less irritated, think more clearly, and feel emotionally balanced. Some people call this the inner youth effect. I call it vitality. And here's the key. You don't need medication to achieve it. Your body is already programmed to make its own rejuvenating hormones. You just have to activate it. You don't need heavy weights. You don't need 2-hour workouts. You just need gentle, mindful movement with breath and awareness. Each time you bend down, stand up, stretch your arms, or push a wall, your muscles contract, blood flows, your heart rate rises slightly, and that's the exact signal your body has been waiting for. Did you know? Growth hormone is released most strongly during deep sleep. So when you exercise lightly during the day, you're actually preparing your body for that restorative process at night. Movement acts like a switch, turning your body on so that when you finally close your eyes, it begins to repair, rebuild, and renew itself. Many patients tell me, "I never thought exercise would help me sleep." And I always answer, "That's because you're helping your body remember its natural rhythm, the rhythm that stress, age, and long hours of sitting have made it forget." I often ask people to imagine this. Your body is like a garden. When you move, you're watering the soil. When you eat nutritious food, you're feeding the plants. And when you rest deeply, your regenerative hormones bloom, helping that garden grow vibrant again, even after many seasons of wear. Someone once asked me, "Doctor, how can I tell if my hormones are working well?" And I told them, listen to your body. If you're sleeping deeper, digesting better, and waking up refreshed, that's your body healing itself. You don't need fancy lab tests, just awareness. And here's what I want you to remember. Age doesn't shut down your hormones. Inactivity does. You can't stop time, but you can teach your body to feel young again through movement and breath. Each time you rise from a chair, each time you push gently against a wall, each time you walk out into the morning light, you're sending your body a message. I'm still here. I still want to live strong. Let's begin to renew. If you've been feeling tired, restless, or low in spirit, try a few minutes of gentle movement each day. Just 10 to 15 minutes, and you'll start to notice a change. First in your sleep, then in your breath, and soon in your energy. Your body has its own memory, and the beautiful thing is, it always wants to return to health. Have you ever noticed, every time you stand up, stretch, or reach out to open the curtains and welcome the morning light, something quiet and beautiful is happening inside your body? A fresh wave of blood begins to flow through your muscles, through every tiny vessel in your heart, and in that brief moment, your body is relearning how to be young again. I've always believed that real youth isn't measured by age on paper. It's written in your muscles. Each muscle fiber carries a memory of every step you've taken, every hug you've given, and every time you stood up when you thought you couldn't. When your muscles weaken, you don't just lose strength, you lose a part of that inner voice that says, "I can." But when your muscles awaken, your inner youth awakens too. I remember a patient, Margaret, age 78. She once said to me, "Doctor, I know I can't go back to being 40, but I'd love to feel 40 again, at least on the inside." And I told her, "You can. Your 40-year-old self is still inside you. She's just asleep." We started small. Gentle wall push-ups, chair squats, and a 10-minute morning walk around her garden. 3 months later, she came back with a completely different smile. "I don't necessarily look younger," she said, "but I feel more alive. I stand up faster, I walk steadier, I sleep better, and most of all, I've started to love my body again." And I thought, that is the true definition of rejuvenation. Many people think muscles exist just for lifting weights or looking toned. But in truth, your muscles are your body's largest rejuvenation lab. Every time a muscle contracts, it sends signals to your brain, activating restorative hormones, improving blood flow, balancing blood sugar, and releasing endorphins, the hormones that make you feel lighter, calmer, and happier. In other words, Every time you move, you're flipping your body's youth switch. No pills, no gym, no magic, just movement. I once met an 84-year-old man named Harris, a retired mechanical engineer. He said something I'll never forget. The body is just like the machines I used to design. Leave it idle and it rusts, but turn the gears a little every day and it runs smooth again. And he was absolutely right. The human body needs to be set in motion to resist the passage of time. It doesn't take strain. It doesn't take hours. It just takes steady, gentle, intentional movement. The kind that reminds your body every day, I'm still alive and I'm not done yet. When you push against a wall, you're not just strengthening your arms. You're keeping your heart and lungs working efficiently. When you sit down and stand back up, you're not just training your legs, you're protecting your memory because strong muscles help pump blood to the brain. And when you stretch your shoulders and take a deep breath, you're not just loosening your back, you're telling your body, I'm still here. I'm still alive. That is the language of youth. A recent study in the Lancet Healthy Longevity found that people over 70 with greater muscle mass not only live longer, but also have sharper minds, lower rates of depression, and better sleep quality, up to 60% improvement. Scientists call this the muscle effect, the powerful link between physical and mental vitality, where even a small improvement in movement can transform the entire body. I like to call it something simpler. Muscle is the youth hidden inside you. I've seen frail, tired older adults come alive again after just a few weeks of gentle, consistent movement. Not because they suddenly became young, but because they regained the feeling of control over their own bodies. One elderly woman told me after her final rehab session, "Doctor, I can open doors by myself again. I can carry my own grocery bag, and that makes me feel like I'm still me." You see, youth isn't about appearance. It's about the feeling that you can still do what you want. So next time you stand up from a chair, don't see it as a small action. See it as turning back the clock, even for just a few seconds. When you stretch in the morning, take a deep breath, or walk a quiet loop around your home. You are recharging your youth, one movement at a time. And I want you to remember this. Youth doesn't live in the gym. It lives in your kitchen, in the chair you rise from, and in the wall you lean against every morning. Youth lives in those moments, in each small motion, each breath, and every choice you make to keep moving forward. If you're hearing this right now, ask yourself, what have I done today to awaken the youth inside me? Maybe it's a 10-minute walk, maybe it's 5 wall push-ups, or maybe it's simply standing up when you could have stayed sitting. Whatever it is, know this. Each of